Good morning, everybody. Shavua Tov. We are right after Chag HaShavuot, after receiving the Torah, Bezrat Hashem. We hope so. And one of the things, first of all, before everything, you know, God gives us the Torah, Matan Torah, but we have to take the Torah, lekabel et Torah, to receive the Torah. And for this, we have to be a vessel that can contain the Torah. It always reminds me, once we had those plants in the yard, and they didn't bloom. They died. After a few days, they died, and we watered them again and again and again. The water died. Then we took the pot, and we understood that the water was the problem. There were big holes underneath the pot, and all the water just went down. Instead of having small holes, so the water will stay there, and slowly but surely will have the air from down or whatever it is. I'm not in this business, but it was very clear that those holes were too big, and all the water that we put in was going out. So we also have to have the right pot to receive the Torah. That's why to start and to begin. I want to tell you a very interesting story. I don't know if I told you before. Around 10 years ago, a guy named Nadav Ben Yehuda, sorry, he was learning in the Ben Tchumi in Herzliya. And he decided he wanted to climb the Everest, the mountain Everest. And this was his dream. And you have to understand, for this you have to prepare yourself for a few months, and you have to be strong. You have to have, how do you say, the right tools, the right clothes, and it's a lot of things to get ready in order to do it. Because there is a certain place, there is no air to breathe, etc., etc. Anyway, he prepared himself for quite a few months and bought all the right clothes and training and everything. And the day came and he went to climb the Everest. And then you have, it's a group, they're underneath the mountain, and then they start climbing as groups, and then they came to a special place which is called the death zone. There you can survive for 24 hours only. There is no air, no nothing. 24 hours you have to get to the top and go down. And at this point, when you get there, you disconnect yourself from all the other friends with the ropes, because if somebody falls, he will drag with him all the others. And each one is by himself. Kol echad levado, everybody for himself. And you climb. And on this and the way, you can sometimes meet friends that have difficulties, people that have difficulties. You don't stop, because you have 24 hours to get to the top and go down. And if you stop, you wouldn't achieve it, and you're risking everything that you put in. In other words, everybody is for himself. You will go on bodies, you don't care. You have to get to the top. Now, this guy, Nadav, is going up, and he gets to the zone. They disconnect from each other, all the group, and they start climbing. I think it's 300 meters before the top, whatever it is, and he's getting nearer and nearer, and then he passes two bodies. And you have to understand, they say that's the highest graveyard in the world, and people there are like buried alive. You see them like they're sleeping, because they freeze to death, and there's like, it's so cold and no air, etc. No life there. And he passes about two bodies that froze there, and then he sees another body, but he thinks that he's moving, and he's shaking him, and he hears it's got a little breathing. He's breathing, he's still breathing. This guy is a Turkish guy called Aydin from the group downstairs, and now he has to decide, what am I going to do? He has, let's say, 150 meters to get up to the top, and he has this guy to save his life. Like, this guy is half dead already, and it's very risky for him also. They can both die, and he's not going to achieve his dream, his mission to get to the top. What do you think he decided? He's got a Jewish soul. He decided to save this guy. You have to understand how difficult it is to carry with you a body that is half dead already, and yourself in this atmosphere, whatever. He did it, but he lost his dream. He didn't achieve it, and he came back. There is a lot of details in this story, But the main point is that this is a climbing to the mountain to achieve things from the materialistic side. You always care for yourself, your egoistic self, especially in a mission like this that you prepare yourself so long. But he had this Jewish soul, and this connects us to the Torah. This is also climbing to the top to receive the Torah, which we did the mountain of Sinai. We received the Torah, and the big difference between the mountain of Sinai and the mountain of Everest is that when you are climbing to get the Torah and be the right vessel to receive the Torah, and it will stay with you, you help each other. And if you meet on the way somebody's got difficulties, and it's going to, the meaning is very simple. You are not going to climb. You are going to stop. You are going to, let's say, maybe not get to the level that you wanted to get because you have to help the other guy. You have to understand. Helping the other guy, on the contrary, is the best thing that you can do, because the minute you help him, you are climbing at a higher top and a higher top, because this is the difference between the Torah, the spiritual way of living, and the physical way of me and only me, the egoistic trip. The trip of Torah is the trip for everybody, helping everybody. And though you think, but I'm not going to achieve the goal that I wanted to go, I'm not going to be this big scholar or whatever I did, this mitzvah to the end, because I have to help this guy. Mistake, wrong. The way when you help the others, this is the goal. This is the way to climb to the mountain of the Torah up there. Our parsha, the whole parsha is unbelievable. The whole parsha is talking about one for all, for being together, building the togetherness. And you see it when you look at the sacrifice of the princes. It starts with a very interesting sacrifice that is very, very hard to understand. When we look, 1 minute, I want to get there. ויקריבו נשיאי ישראל, ראשי בית אבותם, so the princes of Israel, all the tribes, ויביאו את קורבנם, they bring their sacrifice before God. 6 עגלות זהב, 6 wagons and 12 cattle, 12 oxes, עגלה על 2 נביאים. Every 2 princes brought 1 wagon and 1 ox each. In other words, you have a wagon that both the princes brought, and each one of them is bringing an ox, and this is the way they sacrifice, they give a sacrifice. Moshe Rabbeinu didn't know what to do with it, and God told him, you give this, like so the Levim can carry all the things of the Mishkan, of the tabernacle, the tents, and all the other parts. Interesting enough is this is one of the most unbelievable sacrifice, because we're talking about the princes. They've got money. Why didn't they bring 12 wagons and each one of them 2 oxes? What's the problem? 24 oxes and 12 wagons. Why do they have each one of them bring only 1 ox and a wagon together with the other? Can't you bring it all by yourself? But that's exactly the point. The point is showing that we are together, like we are carrying the wagon together. The wagon, it belongs to both of us, and each one of us has got his own ox, his own potential, his own talent, his own will, but we are both carrying the same wagon in the same direction. And this is an unbelievable thing if we think about it. This is exactly like the Jewish home. You have a man and a woman. You have a husband and a wife. And together they build and carry the wagon of the Jewish home. Both of them, each one of them has got his own agenda, his own talent, its own abilities, his own potential. But they are together. They understand to build the Jewish home. You have to be together. You put yourself with the other side together, the husband and the wife together with each one with his own strength, with his own talent, carrying the wagon of the Jewish home. This is Am Israel. If we understand that in order to carry the wagon, we have to, each one of us, put himself there as an individual and as a partner to the other to carry the joint wagon. Then it's not ending with this. They bring each one of us, each one of them, a sacrifice that is exactly the same. And the idea is of Netanel ben Tzuah, the prince of Shevet Yisachar. And look what's going on here. The Torah tells it. First of all, here also, Moshe Rabbeinu, they all bring the sacrifices, and Moshe Rabbeinu doesn't know what to do with it. So God is telling him, Nasi echad le'yom, each one of them, you can normally, they bring a sacrifice, you sacrifice it in one day, all those 12 sacrifices. But no, God tells him, each one is got his own day. Nasi echad le'yom makriv et korbanah. Each one of them is bringing, it's got a separate day to celebrate the sacrifices he's bringing, even on Shabbos, which is only public sacrifice that can be sacrificed. Here, they are putting also Shabbos in this counting. And nevertheless, listen to the sacrifice. ויהיה מקריב ביום הראשון קורבנו, ונחשוב בין המדע מטיל אותה. וקורבנו, and his sacrifice is קערת כסף אחת, 30 משקל. I'm not going to translate it. It's like, it's very simple, the description of what they were exactly bringing. מזרק אחד כסף, silver, whatever it is, 70 שקל, 70 shekels, בשקל הקודש, שניהם מלאים סולת, בלולה, בשם למנחה, כף אחת 10 זהב, מלאה כתובת, פר אחד. I'm not going to read it all, but you can read this all. There are not one psukim, there are a few psukim, and they are being told to us, written in the Torah 12 times, the same psukim. And we know that the Torah is very stingy about words and letters. Every letter is important. Every dot's got a point. It's got and how is it that the Torah is going on, and they could very simply say, this is the sacrifice, etc., and all the president, the prince of this tribe, president, the prince, and describe all the 12 princes of the tribe that they brought this sacrifice, because it's the same. Why are you saying it again and again and again? God saw this thing and he says to him, this is unbelievable. This is exactly what I want. That this to be together in a way that nobody feels he is better than the other, or is less than the others, richer than the others, because some of the tribes were very rich and some of them not. But here came this idea to bring exactly the same, so nobody will feel bad or better than the other. And he says, this is what I want. So each one is going to bring the sacrifice on his own day, and the Torah is going to say all those sentences, all the psukim, which are the same sacrifice 12 times. Unbelievable. It reminds me, in Antwerp they do on Shabbos Kiddushim. That's unbelievable. It's more than a wedding. Now there was this Rebbe, and he decided one day that he has to stop it. Why? Because you see, in the congregation there were rich people and poor people. Now the poor people, they felt that they don't want to be considered as they've got nothing and be ashamed, so they sometimes had to take loans on the bank in order to make a kiddush when they had the simcha. And the rabbi wanted to stop it, so he decided one day, from next Shabbos, the kiddush is going to be crackers, cake, lekach, you know, this white cake, and banana liqueur, and water, or shmas herring, sorry, without herring there's no kiddush. That's it. All the people, the congregation, the rich people says, why? We want to be a kiddush, a proper kiddush. Says, if you don't like it, here is the door. That's the way it's going to be here. Of course, the poor people of the community were so happy, because now they didn't feel bad, because that's not a problem to bring herring and crackers, and this is something that everybody can allow himself. And you know what? After a while, also the rich people liked the idea, because they didn't have to spend money. That, you know, people like their money. In other words, this is the way to live. This is the way to show that we are equal at the end of the day. Each one's got his own talent, as we say. There's 2 oxes. Each one's got his own talent, his own abilities. But together, we are together bringing taking the wagon. And this is unbelievable. So God, He's showing us how important it is give the feeling to the other that he is the same as you, that he's got also, is not going to be ashamed of what he's bringing, or the other one's going to be proud. Oh, look what I brought. So important, those things, and we know it. And if you want to know something else, it's not ending in this, because before all of this is God telling the Kohanim how to bless Am Yisrael. Yevarechecha Hashem v'yishmerecha. God will bless you and keep you. And Ya'er Hashem panav elecha. He's going to lighten His face to you. V'yechuneka. Yisa Hashem panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. A beautiful blessing of the Kohanim. But look, who are the Kohanim benching? Who are the Kohanim blessing? The whole congregation. So it should be in plural. Ya'er Hashem panav elechem. V'yechulchem, Yisa Hashem panav elechem. But notice, it's written in singular. Elecha, yevarechecha. Why? So first of all, it's each one of us is getting his own blessing. As we said, each one of us got a different talent. But the more important thing is, like I was talking about this in shiur, giving a shiur, and I asked the kids, and I asked the people, the congregation, what do you think about? Why is it like this? And a small kid answered to me, because it's Vayichan Sham Yisrael Keish Echad Belev Echad. To receive the Torah, we have to be as one. Vayichan, it's in singular, not in plural. That should be Vayachanu. And he said, so I was Mipe'ololim Ve'elokim Misad Et Haoz. Listen to a little kid saying it. This is the way to educate the next generation. But we have to be like this. And this is the idea. We want the blessing to achieve the top of the blessing, to get to the top of receiving the Torah, to the top of being Jewish, is to be together as one. This is the only way that we can receive the Torah, and also, Be'ezrat Hashem, the Geula Shlema B'mera B'yameinu Amen. There is so much to talk about all those things. And really, as we said, together is the goal. Together, each one of us, with his own talent. God doesn't want us to give up our talent, our abilities, our potential. No. You use your talent, you use your ability, and climb to the mountain. As this guy, this Jewish guy, that saved this Turkish guy because his Jewish heart. This is the way. This is the right way to live our life. To get to the top of the top of the top of being Jewish. And Be'ezrat Hashem, la Geula Shlema b'mera b'yameinu. Amen. All the best.